It was an old machine. Not vintage cool. Not antique. Just outdated. Beige plastic, faded buttons. The kind of thing no one uses anymore because no one has a landline anymore. But it came with the apartment, tucked under the kitchen counter, next to the drawer of dead batteries and expired coupons. I didn't plug it in. Didn't need to. I had my cell. But one Sunday afternoon, as I was organizing the cabinets, I noticed the machine's red light was blinking. Not fast, just steady. One message. I laughed, thinking maybe it had somehow recorded static from an old power surge. But when I pressed play, the sound was clear. Sharp. It was my voice, saying words I didn't remember saying. February 12. Weather mild. Window left open again. I dreamed of the hallway, but the doors were different. They didn't lead anywhere. Only closed. Only locked. I froze. Rewound. Played it again. The tone, the cadence, the hesitations. It was me. But I didn't say those things. I had no journal, no audio log, and I definitely hadn't dreamed anything the night before. The machine had no tape, no call history, no caller ID, just a tiny internal memory. I almost unplugged it. Almost. But curiosity is a louder voice than fear. I left it, checked it again the next Sunday. 4:44 p.m. The light blinked. New message. Again, my voice. February 19. Saw the shadow again. Not behind me this time. In the reflection. Still mine, but too still. Like it was waiting for me to notice. I didn't know what disturbed me more, the content or the certainty in my voice. Calm, steady, not afraid, as if whoever was speaking already knew how this would go. I checked my phone's audio notes. Nothing. My computer. Clean. No dictation app, no voice memos. Just the answering machine. And me, but I had never said those words. Not out loud. Not in thought. Not until I heard them. I tried to catch it. I set up a camera facing the answering machine. Made sure it was plugged in. Checked the battery. Cleared the SD card. On Sunday, I sat across the kitchen at 4:40 p.m. Nothing. I didn't move, didn't speak. I just waited. At 4:44 p.m. exactly, the red light blinked. One message recorded, but on the camera, nothing. No sound, no movement. The clock ticked forward, my own image sitting in silence. And then the message. February 26. The hallway shrank again. I walked and walked, but the walls kept narrowing. No doors this time, just frames where doors used to be. I think I left something behind, but I'm not sure it was mine. I rewound the footage over and over. I was there. I didn't move, didn't speak, but the message was clear. And the voice, still mine. I started sleeping with the door open. Just in case I wandered. Just in case I got up and said things without knowing. But every morning, I woke up exactly where I'd fallen asleep, still in bed. Lights off, sheets undisturbed. I checked the doorframe for tape, for dust, anything to prove movement. Nothing changed, but the messages did. They grew more specific. March 4. He was at the table again, wearing my hands, using my mouth, but he doesn't blink. I don't think he knows how. I stopped deleting them. I started writing them down because part of me was beginning to recognize the images, not from memory, from dreams I hadn't had yet, dreams that came after I heard the recordings. Like the messages weren't just describing them, but sending them ahead. I started finding notes, slips of paper I didn't remember writing in my handwriting, folded into books I hadn't touched, pressed into the freezer door, once inside my pillowcase. Always the same pen, always the same slanted cursive I'd used back in high school, the kind I hadn't written in for over a decade. One note said, "Don't forget the second hallway." Another, "He listens when you sleep. Don't pretend you can't hear him." The third just said, "Sunday, 4:44. Let him speak." I kept them in a shoebox I couldn't bring myself to throw out. I told myself this could still be explained. Maybe I was sleepwalking. Maybe my mind was fracturing from stress. But when I finally cracked and went to see a therapist, the message changed. March 18. She tried to tell. He turned the mirror. Now she sees what he sees. It wasn't a warning. It was a correction, like I'd stepped out of bounds, and the voice had nudged me back in. I unplugged the answering machine that night, took it apart, screws, wires, memory chip, nothing unusual, no signal, no battery. And yet, when Sunday came, I found the red light blinking again. The message played before I could press the button. My voice, slower this time, closer, like I was whispering from just behind the speaker. March 25. You took the machine apart. Good. Now he can use you directly. I dropped it, ran to the mirror, looked at myself. My eyes were blinking. My mouth was shut, but I could feel something vibrating behind my teeth, a word I didn't say, but could taste. It tasted like metal, like heat, like breath that wasn't mine. I don't listen to the tapes anymore. They play whether I press play or not. The answering machine isn't even plugged in now. It sits on my desk like a relic. But every Sunday, 4:44 p.m., I hear my voice come through the static, not from the speaker, but from somewhere just behind my left ear, like a whisper inside my skull. Last week, I wrote down what it said without thinking. My hand moved before my brain caught up, and when I looked at the paper, the handwriting wasn't mine. Not exactly. It was tighter, more deliberate, like someone trying very hard to mimic me. It read, April 15. He's almost finished. Just one entry left. Then the voice is his. I haven't slept since. I unplugged every clock, covered every mirror, burned every page of the journal I didn't write. But still, the messages come. Still, the voice plays. Still, I answer, not because I want to, but because I'm starting to forget which thoughts are mine. I called my sister last night just to hear someone else say my name. She paused before she did. Then she said, "You sound different. Are you okay?" I wanted to say yes, but I think the voice answered for me, because she hung up, and I don't remember what I said. The red light is blinking again. Sunday, 4:44. I cover my ears, but it doesn't help anymore. The voice is inside now. Not louder, just closer. I can feel it tracing the back of my throat, shaping vowels I haven't chosen. If this message plays back, if someone finds the tape, no, this wasn't me. Not really. It was never about remembering. It was about becoming. And now, the last voice he needed was mine.